My unit is on representing and interpreting data for third grade math and science. My unit goal is for students to display proficiency in their knowledge to collect, analyze, and organize the data by utilizing and creating various graphs. My objectives for week 1, I'm going to be using my Common Core State Standards, the Math Content 3 MDB3, where they draw a scaled picture graph and scaled bar graph to represent a data set with several categories. They can solve 1 and 2 step how many more, how many less problems using information represented in scaled bar graphs. I'll be using the NS131. They communicate observations orally and writing and in graphic organizers, T-charts, pictographs, Venn diagrams, bar graphs, and frequency tables. The NS134, they communicate the results of scientific investigations. The students will understand what collect data means. The students will organize the data. The students will construct a bar graph. The students will analyze the data in the bar graph. I'm going to assess the students' understanding by using thumbs up, thumbs down when I go over these objectives during the week. Objectives for week 2, the students will work in groups with 4 students per group. The Common Core State Center is Math Content 3 MDB3, where they draw a scaled picture graph and a scaled bar graph to represent a data set with several categories. The NS131, they communicate observations orally in writing and in graphic organizers. The NS133, they conduct scientific investigations individually and in teams, where they do a field study or lab activities. The NS134, they communicate the results of scientific investigations. The students will conduct their own survey. When they're divided up in groups, they will do a survey amongst everyone in the class. The students will organize the data. They will construct and create their own bar graph. This is going to be used as a formative assessment. The student will analyze the data in the bar graph. Objectives for week 3 are Common Core State Standards Math Content 3 MDB3. They draw a scaled picture graph, a scaled bar graph to represent a data set with several categories. The NS131, they communicate observations orally in writing and in graphic organizers. The students will understand different kinds of graphs. The students will construct a pictograph. The students will be engaged while watching an animated video about bar graphs. Here's the link to the YouTube video. The objectives for week 4, the Common Core State Center Math 3 Content 3 MDB3, where they draw a scaled picture graph and scaled bar graph to represent a data set with several categories. The Common Core State Center Math Content 3 MDB4, they generate measurement data by measuring lengths using rulers marked with halves and fourths of an inch. NS131, they communicate observations orally in writing and in graphic organizers. NS133, conduct scientific investigations individually and in teams. NS134, they communicate the results of scientific investigations. The students will collect data by experiment. Each student's going to do the salt crystal experiment. The student will construct a line plot. The student will analyze the data collected by the experiment in the line plot. The students are going to report their findings on the line plot every day for 3 days. They're going to measure the growth of the crystal, the salt crystals. And the student will present his findings to the class in a presentation, which will be the performance-based assessment for the unit.